At some point, I'm going to mute our mics so he... I was hoping you were just going to run the commercial. And we are live. What's up, my brother?
Hey, the pontiff.
my fellow black rabbi. How are you this evening?
Hey, listen, I'm doing good.
Man, you look good, brother. Look at you.
If I were a rich man, a very rich man.
So what precipitated? I mean, listen, I got my stick. I'm the Pope and whatnot. But what precipitated the rabbi? Was it to compliment this? Or is it a duo? Because you and I took a really dope picture before we started here, me and you.
Man, well, you know, I keep it real. You know what I'm saying? And got to represent my peeps.
You got to represent the peeps. You want to say a little prayer for everybody before we get started?
Oh, maybe everyone together now. Okay.
Well, happy Halloween, man. Happy Halloween to you.
So, how's everything going at the Vatican?
It's going good. It's going good.
Great.
I could tell some Pope jokes, but I don't want to upset anybody.
Oh, we'll say that for later.
All right, so welcome to the Halloween special. We've got a little bit of a special show for you. As you can see, we're in festive orange today as we've changed the colors of our set. And, you know, it's interesting because you would think that there's like a real strong play between Halloween and cannabis. But there really isn't. Well, that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. But before we get started, we got some awesome friends of the show here. So let's introduce them one by one. Go ahead, introduce yourself, my friend. Todd.
I'm Todd Alexander, and friends of both of these great guys here. Haven't seen them in a long time, so glad to be here tonight. Thanks for having me in.
You got to talk into the mic.
Can you hear me now?
We can.
So should I repeat that? Or
No, I think everybody kind of heard you.
Cool.
But as you move on, just like, you know, talk into the mic. So we can all hear all the important
First
things.
show, everybody, so I'm just kind of getting broken in here.
Yeah.
Todd in the house.
Todd in the house. We've known each other for a real long time.
Yeah.
We appreciate Todd coming on tonight to hang out with us. Love the costume, man.
Thanks, man. I call it white DMC, you know.
That's the sound of the police! Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good one, Ben. Yeah, so, you know, thanks for coming. Welcome to the show.
Cool, man.
All right, cool.
Glad to be here.
And then we have another, like, big player in the back here, and he's coming in for an interview soon. We had to rearrange our schedule, but we're gonna take a look at his background individually on one of our interview show. But for tonight, Ben, introduce yourself, man.
Ben, been a pothead my whole life, so fitting for the show. But I've been blowing glass for 20 years.
And that's what we're going to talk about for your interview. We're going to talk.
That's my lane. That's definitely the wheelhouse.
Right.
So.
And so when we do this interview coming up, we'll advertise that it's coming up. One of the things that we want to get into is, like, if somebody today, in today's day and age, wants to get into glass blowing, I want to get, like, pick your brain as to what they have to overcome versus what you had to overcome. And maybe lay out a path where we can, you know, at least introduce this as a viable option for some.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Cool. So what do you got over there? I see you got some stuff.
Got some, it's called White Ritz.
White Ritz?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What,
very nice.
Tell us about White Ritz. What's a...
I don't really know too much about the strain.
Okay.
Yeah, just like different flavors, so it's something that...
Perfect.
You know,
Perfect.
but it's, you know...
And that's what's in these fatties that are going to be flowing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Living soil, which, you know, is the fad. That's what everyone wants these
Cool.
days. Not that it's, you know, necessarily the best, but that's the...
That's the new rage, living soil?
That's the rage, yep. So,
Is it a way to just charge more, or is it just more of the organic path? Or both?
I mean, I think intuitively when you tell people that it's grown the way plants are grown naturally, permaculture,
Right.
that makes people think that that's going to be, the healthiest plant. But there's kind of a spectrum, between probably, really good hydro that's done very scientifically, and those people probably don't want to bring dirt in their house, and they have more of maybe a left brain approach to growing, and
A green approach.
and then on the other side,
For lack of a better terms.
sure. I mean, hopefully, you can get great product either way, but. And then you have what's jokingly called wook science on the far other end.
Right.
But
But
living soil KNF, the Korean way of making compost teas to feed micronutrients to
Right.
your plants. But
so it's just a more organic way to cultivate, right?
yeah, I mean, organic speaks to the lack of pesticides, chemicals, PGRs, plant growth hormones, things like that.
And that's what this is?
Yeah, this is going to be, organic speaks to that. Living soil speaks to the fact that the soil is literally alive. It has mycorrhizal fungus
Got you.
and bacteria, beneficial
Wow.
bacteria.
Got you.
Wow.
Got you. Wow. That's all right. Cool. We learned something.
So just like, the most perfect soil would be an old growth forest or, maybe the terra preta soil in the Amazon. But that is...
That's the opposite of. That would be on the opposite end of living.
that is living soil.
that is
That
living
is
soil.
living soil, and that's what people try to.
I got you.
That's what people try to create in their house. But on the other side, you can grow cannabis in water, hydro, and you're expected to give it all the you're responsible for the exact amount of micronutrients, macronutrients, and making sure the bioavailability of all of it. Instead of kind of letting nature do its natural
Gotcha.
thing. Yeah.
Bro, you're always a wealth of knowledge and always welcome to the show. Thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate it. And man, my brother T Greedy in the house. What's going on?
Yo.
Yeah.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's good, dog?
Fucking celebrity in the house, T Greedy. So I gotta ask him, man, like if we weren't doing this Halloween show, I would have been with you today. So let me ask you, how was the jet skiing?
Yeah, it was cool, man.
Talking to the man.
It was good. I just ripped down.
Yeah, just did a short run.
Yeah.
Just you, right?
Yeah. I seen a couple people out there
Yeah.
talking to, but yeah.
Some hotties or no?
Where'd you
Nah,
go? Were you
no.
out in the river?
Yeah.
Schuylkill? Or-
Delaware River down. I put in the Chamonix Marina.
There you go.
Yeah.
Any tugboats?
Nah, I didn't see none of that.
See, that's what I look for when I go out there. I need tugboats so I can get some air, so we can make it more fun. Well, T Greedy, thanks for being on the show tonight. We appreciate it as always. And so, I started off this conversation talking to my rabbi friend here about how there's no real intersection between cannabis and Halloween. When we started off to do the show, I really thought there was a history. And Ben and I talked about it on the phone a little bit about, there's some evidence that, with the Celtic and the pagan traditions that perhaps cannabis was used in some form of that, but there's really no direct proof. I went as far as calling the Salem Witch Museum, and I spoke to one of the curators up there, and I might have made a jackass out of myself, but I thought maybe perhaps there is some correlation. And she just kind of chuckled and said, she goes, no, I appreciate the call, but she goes, I don't know of any correlation.
I mean, I think that if anything, we
Yeah,
could
she's smoking a
assume that
fatty.
there's a reverse correlation.
Yeah.
That there was definitely not enough cannabis during that period of time. I think that a lot less people would have gotten hung and burned if there was enough, right?
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's
whatever
okay.
it was not cannabis that they had during the Salem witch trials.
that makes sense, Ben.
Yeah.
Again, wealth of knowledge.
Well,
Wealth
that-
of knowledge.
They had some shit that you don't want. Yeah.
Talking to
think
the
that's
mic.
very
Make sure
true.
you guys talking to the mic, man. Be sure to talk into the
A
mic.
friend of mine actually visited Salem recently, and that whole witchcraft history is a
Yeah?
very big business up there.
It's
for-
huge.
for checking stuff
If they
out.
weren't so damn busy, she said she would have come on tonight to debunk this with
So
us.
I don't know if
Believe it.
you've heard of the wet crop theory, but LSD comes from the ergot fungus, and what happens is in some crops, if a crop comes too late, the bread has fungus on it. Some of that fungus can be psychedelic fungus. And there's a theory that the Salem witch trials happened in part because of late harvests and psychedelic bread that they were all forced to eat or had to eat to not starve. And I think that has been debunked to some degree, but there are some people that think that that a late crop or got fungus could be. So there could be some you know.
Do you know how to make the fucking magic bread?
No, I don't know how to make magic bread. I can make peanut butter and jelly.
Yep.
All right, well, that we do know how to do. So anyway, so one of the things that I was really thinking is that there was like the direct correlation, and
It's
there's
rye
not.
bread. I'm sorry, by the way.
What was that again?
It's rye bread, actually, though, that does it. So you just after.
Well, if you're going to say rye bread, directed at him.
Do you have a
It's-
loaf?
I do not have rye or challah bread.
Here we go.
Here we
That's the
go.
one,
See, the
that's the
rabbi's
one.
on a roll right now, baby. Fucking Dallas, man. I'm not done with you. I'm never done with you with that. Hey.
I'd give you some bread, but you'd probably think it's the Lord or something himself. You know.
Well,
do that.
right now I'm looking for very specific crackers this evening.
Yeah, I don't have any.
You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
Ben? I don't have
I
them.
stay away from death cults, but you know.
But they're cookies,
Sure,
right? They're cookies.
they're cookies.
They're sugar cookies at the end of the day.
And it's not a death cult. Don't
No.
worry.
And if you eat them, you're not going to go to hell either. Some might tell you if you're not supposed to eat those cookies and you eat them, that you'll go to hell.
That sounds like a loving God to me.
So anyway, so one of the things I did is I did some research, and I'm trying to figure out, like, you know, what's going on. So I came across this Leafly article, and Control Room, if you want to go ahead and put it up. This article talks about, and what I find very interesting is, yeah, here we go. So you guys can see my screen here, and what it is this is Leafly. And they said 7 scary strains for a haunting Halloween. And what I find just absolutely insane about this is that there's no correlation other than the name itself. So let's take a look at some of these. Ready? Ghost OG. And then the description is boo, don't worry, there's nothing scary about this popular strain. It's a hybrid relaxing effects and citrusy profile. There's nothing about how this could fit into your Halloween evening whatsoever. You agree?
True. I mean, we're gonna smoke weed regardless of
What the?
Yes,
It
what
doesn't
is
matter what fucking name
I've
it
actually
is.
heard this article is up for the Pulitzer Prize. So some people disagree. They think that this is actually the best work of the year.
I knew. Yeah. First, I got a sound for that. Where the
You
fuck
had me
is-
on. I gotta say stupid shit like that.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Uh-oh, retard alert.
So anyway,
Oh man.
yes, we're in for some fun. So that's the first one. So the second one, Durban Poison. Popular sativa sounds scary. Sounds scary. I mean, the whole point of bringing this up is it's such a fucking reach.
Yeah, you
It's-
gotta reach pretty far to find
It
a
is
connection.
such a fucking
they're trying
reach.
to what? Make the connection.
They're trying to
between
they're trying to
poison.
jam. Listen, cannabis has a relation to each holiday, and this one is a weak relationship. So they're just trying to jam it in. Right. I mean, what we're doing here with our costumes is more cannabis Halloween than anything that's really anyone else is doing. So it's the same shit. So anyway, Durban Poison. You guys can, if you want to flip back to it. Jealousy. Ever heard of jealousy?
Sounds like one of the mortal
Yes.
sins to me.
Yes, I had some jealousy about 2 weeks ago. Actually,
You did?
yes, I did.
You had this flower right here?
I had that flower.
And?
You liked it?
Yeah, did you like it?
I'm gonna say this: it didn't make me jealous, but it felt good.
And did it make you think of Halloween? I doubt
Not
it.
at all.
All right. Gary Satan. This is a strain, never heard of it. Have you heard of this, Ben?
No, I've never heard of
How
that.
about you, T. Greedy?
No.
Okay. So, again, you know, spooky name. Devil Driver.
Yeah.
So you guys get the point, man. Like, you know, what, you know, a lot of dispensaries are doing, you know,
Hellraiser OG.
Yeah, I would rather you go down the if you're in the retail business and you want to do something for Halloween, it makes sense to me that you would go down the road where you reward the best costumes, or perhaps you do a dab contest, something that's that's more relevant to the retail business than it is to try to shove some strains into a category that it doesn't belong.
It seems like this might be maybe the less the least favorite holiday for the cannabis industry.
Yeah.
Right, because there's stories of children getting cannabis candy,
and we're gonna
which
talk about
everyone
that
knows
tonight,
is bullshit. But
yes, that's
unfortunately,
actually
that's where people's minds go. Right?
And that's the next thing we're talking about. And before we get there, so Todd, what do you think about these guys putting these strains in and tying it to Halloween with no real reference points or no real relevance?
I think it's a money grab, marketing, right?
It's marketing, right?
Yeah,
it's Halloween. You have to put an article out. So why not write some stupid ass shit like this?
At the same time, what more of a holiday than a Halloween for partying? And weed smokers are going to smoke weed and party on Halloween, right?
Then I would be more interested, and you're right, you're 100% right. So I would be more interested in an article on how to throw a good party or activities that you could have at a party. But this is, to me, is the biggest reach.
Or the best candy strains. I mean, even that would be. Everyone loves candy strains. You have the best gelato strains. You got, lemon cherry gelato. You're talking about candy.
What do you think, T. Greedy?
Yeah, I agree with him.
Yeah, so
the candy would have been
a better choice.
The most delicious candy strains. You got your Skittle, your Z Skittles, your Z Terps. You could break it down here. This is your Z Terps. This is candy for the adult. This is candy for
adult
us, right?
fun. Yeah, there you go.
So let me ask you this. This is a crazy ass question. So Ben, for next Halloween, will you write the Cough Country article on how to have a proper
Well, there's what they call
Halloween,
what they call terpene constellations, which is just a group of different volatile compounds that make the taste, and people like the ones that have a candy flavor, but there's different lineages to certain candy flavors, so we could go over that.
All right, cool. Yeah. So now we already know that Ben's going to come back and write an article.
Well, I don't know about write an article.
Hey, we could talk about it.
But you could use
but
you could use AI.
The knowledge is here.
You could just
tell and in ChatGPT.
Yeah. And then don't tell anybody you used it afterwards.
Oh, no one will know.
Exactly.
Did I say that in the microphone?
No one's going to know. 100% right. He's 100% right.
Yeah, man.
This is the info on the Mercedes CLK. Good.
What is it? Well, somebody fire one of them up and start passing that around. So
yeah, we'll catch the next one because he kind of smoked the first one up by himself.
Fire that up.
He let us do our intro, but we're ready now.
Oh, look at this. Rabbis raining J's on the rabbi.
What's going on in the conclave?
This is always fun to get dressed up, right? As somebody you're not. When's the last time you've been a rabbi? Never.
I'm a rabbi daily. I live right, smoke the righteousness, and live right.
Well, listen, you are as righteous as they come, as I say. And what do you call those things? What do you call the
kippah?
On my locks?
No, yeah, what do they call pesos?
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah. Ben knows what I'm talking about. So anyway,
the curls.
Yeah, the curly curls. Yeah. So I want to thank you guys for getting all dressed up tonight as well. Appreciate it. So
you're welcome.
Yeah. So
Nothing to it.
Yeah, right. So one of the things that happens this time of year, every Halloween since about when Colorado, and actually even before Colorado, where they talk about how it's so dangerous that weed candy, cannabis-infused candies, are going to find their way into kids.
Well, it's outrage media. I mean, outrage sells. So how do we manufacture something with outrage in it? That's the pearl clutching that they've always gone with.
Right.
And it just never happens, right? You never actually hear about it happening.
Right. Exactly.
You only hear about that it could happen or will happen.
So we have an article that we brought up, and
it's also it's expensive. No one wants to give their expensive edibles to children.
Well,
right?
we're going to talk about that in a second. So Ben's on top of this. This is why he should be writing articles. So I reached out to a writer for the news agency called Reason, or a magazine called Reason, and he wrote an article last year, and the title of this article is "Cops and Reporters Are Still Trying to Hype Halloween Threat Posed by Strangers with Cannabis Candy." And so what he did on this article, and if you, control room, if you want to pop my screen up, we'll take a look at it. And Todd's got a couple parts in it that he's gonna talk about. But you guys can see this picture. We all know what it looks like. They make the packages look almost identical to regular candy, but at the end of the day, it's not the same. And there's a lot of different extra warnings and things that don't look quite right with it. And, like Ben said, I don't really buy the whole fact that, you're going to spend this kind of money on edibles and just start sticking it in kids' fucking, little baskets. Mm-hmm. So what Jacob, and I reached out to Jacob, and Jacob was going to come on the show tonight to talk to us about this article. And unfortunately, he couldn't come because his wife was having surgery today, and it's just a difficult day to do that. But we exchanged some pleasantries, and he seems to be like a really nice guy. But I really was impressed with this article, because what he did with this article is he really tore after it being the myth. Not the fact, not the warning, not the precautionary tales that we're all told about on what to look out for. And you and I, before the show, we were talking about when we were kids. They were talking about razor blades being in there.
That was the big thing.
That was the big thing, because there wasn't weed to talk about, and they want to scare you with something. You got to get scared. Mm-hmm. You got to be scared, T. Greedy.
Yeah.
Because you're not compliant if you're not scared, right? So if you're scared and you're worried about something, then, we have to pay attention to the news. We have to pay attention to the authorities. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so what Jacob did in this article is he tore this down. And I know you got a couple parts that you want to kind of talk about and highlight, which I think is great. But it really does talk about it. And now, when we're done talking about this, there is one situation that did happen where kids did get this shit at Halloween in Canada, in Winnipeg, and we've got some stories about that. So, and then we've got some videos to kind of go with this. And so, actually, you know what, control room, why don't you play that video that talks about the scare, and then we'll go from there.
Tonight, NBC4 Investigates is tackling some Halloween fears to make sure you are prepared, not overly scared, for the spookiest night of the year. In just 2 days, the streets will be filled with little trick-or-treaters.
This is also the time of the year where scary rumors go viral, of course, but just how much truth is behind them? NBC4 Investigates' Isabel Cleary joins us now with answers. Isabel, this will make a lot of parents feel better, we hope, about Thursday night.
That's right, Jen and Jared. We are hoping it will. There are two concerns that seem to go viral each year: fears of razor blades in Halloween candy and people handing out marijuana edibles to children. I checked in with area hospitals as well as Columbus Police, and take a look at the numbers. I checked in with Columbus Police, the Central Ohio Poison Center, and Mount Carmel Health Systems. My question: do they get any reports of razor blades in Halloween candy or people handing out edibles? The answers: in the last 5 years, Columbus Police have not received a single report of drugs or weapons in Halloween candy. It's the same for Mount Carmel. Data over the last 5 years shows the number of children who came into Mount Carmel's ER because of tampered candy is 0.
Every year it seems to pop up this almost urban legend of people putting razor blades and other harmful objects in candy. And the truth of the matter is we just don't see that.
We also checked in with the Central Ohio Poison Center. And again, the data shows 0 calls for help related to candy collected by trick-or-treaters.
That's one of those old wives' tales sorts of things.
Now, that doesn't mean there aren't any things to look out for on Halloween night.
You want to take...
So, yeah, so I thought that was a really good news mainstream representation of basically them describing what they fucking do to everybody.
Like it could happen, but it doesn't.
It doesn't. And there's zero precedent for thinking that there's so why do we have to alarm the people? So take go ahead, man. Take a couple.
So maybe it's, they're just trying to coincide with Halloween and trying to scare people. And it sells, right? So that's what they're doing.
Right, exactly.
They're selling this story, all this hysteria, but nothing's happening. I want to check and see, back in the 70s, what were the razor blade sales like? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they didn't peak during Halloween.
Well, it started with that Tylenol scare, I think, is with that Tylenol fucking scare. And then after that, it was like, wow, we can invoke this type of fear in the public, and then they have to rely on us to...
Tylenol actually did have a bad batch, though, right? And
they
spent a huge amount of money recalling it.
They did, but there was also, I think... It's some, I don't know the full story, so I don't want to talk about it, but I think it got elaborated in some fashion where it grew beyond what the actual threat was. Sure. That's what I think happened, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But next time, if you have a headache, smoke some weed, keep it organic, keep the chemicals out your body.
Yeah, so what parts of Jacob are, like is there a couple parts of Jacob's article that you thought were of...
Well, one of the things you're talking about, the candy, mirroring, the edibles, but it's strict. It's labeling on there says not for children. And like Ben spoke to earlier, you're not going to give your goods away. That's expensive. Okay, so the edibles are for me, and kids, you get the candy. That's just facts.
Yeah, I think people who use cannabis, they're used to having an area to hide things or stash things. They understand that.
Well,
concept.
you've been doing it. The concept of hiding your shit has been forever.
They understand that concept better than anyone.
That's
they probably
right.
have a hoodie with a hidden spot, a hat with a hidden spot, some shoes with a hidden spot, and a backpack with some hidden spots. So
T Greedy keeps it inside the sole of his shoe. He got special shoes because you don't want nobody to fucking get that shit.
My man.
So has anyone here heard of anybody that children or have gotten bad candy?
So Todd, what do you think about this overhypeness?
I really think it is overhyped. I mean, I used to go all around town back in the day when trick-or-treating was the thing, right? And nobody ever ended up with razor blades, even in their apple. When they gave away apples, So it's about, policing your stuff.
So if someone gave you fucking fruit, you were throwing that shit out anyway.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think part of the obvious, sorry to cut anyone off, part of the obvious is, one of the connotations is has to do with how you're dressed. Is there's a lot of people who think Halloween is fundamentally evil, so they need somewhere to project that particular disdain for it. So in their mind, this is an evil thing, and they look around and they see kids eating candy and dressing like the chick who can't break dance, but then they think of something that actually could be bad, and they get excited maybe that they can actually maybe even have a shred of something in the real world to go after.
It's interesting.
And they go after us,
Well, it's a good perspective. That's a good perspective. T Greedy, what do you think?
Yo, I didn't even know they were still saying that. That's
really?
Still, yeah. Like I thought that Ben died. Like,
yeah.
Well,
old story.
Yeah, like I was a kid when
talking to the mic.
I was a kid when that saying check the candy and all that.
Did your mom make you check the candy?
Yeah, she did too. Yeah.
Yeah, we pour it out on the table.
Yeah, pour it out on the table. Yeah.
T Greedy comes. T Greedy comes back off the streets with the candy. He come in. He ready to rip it up. Yo, mom said, "Yo, hold up. We gotta check the candy for fucking razor blades."
And that was the time. You know what that really was for? The parents checking the candy, so they can steal your candy.
Yeah.
Shit, that's what that was all about.
T Greedy, and then after she started looking at his candy, she said,
What the fuck is that?
That's what she said right there. That's what she wanted to know. What the fuck did you bring back here?
Well, the things that did happen on Halloween, instead of these, stories and myths. I mean, Halloween, people maybe egging cars, right? Throwing eggs, toilet paper all around. Those are the things that did happen.
Yeah,
okay? That's
overdosing
Halloween.
on corn syrup. How American is that, right?
Right.
Eating a bunch of,
High
crystallized
high
corn syrup.
fructose
Yeah,
corn.
that's the most American thing ever.
Yeah.
Like individually wrapped, like more plastic than candy.
My man.
That's so American.
Yep.
And then wearing something that you put in the closet for another year. That's maybe Made by someone who's probably just learning how to walk somewhere.
I know one
Ben
thing that
spitting
did happen.
Ben spitting facts tonight, man.
He in effect.
I might have to let him make a
That's
proclamation.
me. I was making
So,
that. No,
so I want to ask you guys. You know, we all grew up in different places, right? Different
Get on the
areas.
mic. You know
So
better.
did anybody out here experience bag snatching on Halloween?
yeah. I mean, I know of it.
Well, wait a second.
The older kids would grab some of the.
Right, that was common. That was some good.
We didn't have none of that.
Man.
In our hood, you got your ass kicked for stealing candy like that. If you
Man.
tried to steal candy.
Yeah, but it's a
He
simple,
fucking knows.
simple
Snatching
equation.
bags.
You have three big people and 2 small people. You know, those are some walking bags of candy. If you decide that
Yo,
that's
Phil, if you was in my hood, your bag would have been snatched.
FBI, open up!
Guys calling the cops and telling them everybody got his bag stolen.
so that's why you guys don't like each other.
I'd have got
That's
that
where
bag.
this religious thing starts. I thought it had something to do with Jerusalem, or I don't know.
Well, so anyway, so we're talking about this being the myth that it is, and how fucking silly it is that we're even writing articles each year and warning people and scaring people. But because these dumbass motherfuckers in Winnipeg, and matter of fact, you know what, Control Room, why don't you play the video, and then we'll talk about these dudes.
I'm upset that it happened as a parent, as a police officer. Unfortunately, I'm not surprised.
Winnipeg police have arrested 2 adults in connection with the cannabis edibles found in multiple children's Halloween candy.
In a certain quantity, it can be harmful to anyone, but certainly children's bodies are much more vulnerable than even an adult's body would be. So we have to take all precautions.
A 63-year-old male and a 53-year-old female are facing numerous charges, which include 13 counts of causing bodily harm by criminal negligence.
A suspect residence was identified and a search warrant was subsequently executed in the first 100 block of Coleraine Crescent.
On Monday, Winnipeg police received over a dozen reports about THC Nerds candy found in children's Halloween candy. The edibles were discovered in the children's bags after trick-or-treating in the South Tuxedo neighborhood.
Investigators have spoken to the families and determined that children between ages 6 and 16 had received these THC edibles.
During a press conference, Constable Danny McKinnon said that the investigation is still ongoing and that she's urging parents to continue to monitor their children's Halloween candy.
We want parents to check the treat bags, and we encourage you to continue to make a report if you do find these THC nerd candies in your kids' Halloween candy.
McKinnon says that the motive behind this crime is still unclear, but no single child was intentionally targeted. In Winnipeg, Sweet Arasi, City News.
Wow.
Those are some bags to snatch.
So
I'd
it
have
says
snatched all them bags.
Do you have the article? Hey, do you have the article? What those people, what those couples said? Because what they said was this was their fucking excuse, Ben. They said that they were intoxicated on weed, which caused them to give their weed away.
It happened.
Well, their first story was that the first story that they said was that they ran out of candy, and so they went and got some of their own.
Oh my God.
Stash.
No. That's not, because if you look at it and it says in the case, because what they do is they try to, they're looking for intent, right? And when they're prosecuting. So they're saying that they actually had candy by the door, which led them to believe that though it was still wrong, it wasn't a calculated type of thing. They didn't set out to do this.
Right, it was an accident.
Somehow
right?
this candy got mixed in with the other candy.
So the one time it happened, it was an accident, right?
Listen, you smoke a little bit.
I've tried it.
We all. I think everybody.
I'd say
I think
I've
everybody
tried
at this
it.
table.
I've tried
I think everybody at this table smokes a little bit. Yeah. Have you ever gotten to the point where you wouldn't know that? Like
I've tried and no.
No, me neither. Me neither. What do you think about this whole story and this whole thing?
I think they should lock them up and throw away the key, man. These people are idiots. You got to be
talking to the mic.
You got to be responsible for your own drugs.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Yeah.
So
you can't handle it. You do something stupid like that, it gets into the.
So they didn't get jail time. But did I give you the?
Well, this is a one-off.
You got the article?
But yeah,
right.
But what they actually did, their excuse was Hey, we ran out of candy. We were high, so we went and grabbed some stuff that we thought was candy, and it was edibles.
Yeah.
So it sounded like it was delivered to me, but this is just a one-off case.
Yeah, there's a saying, the exception that makes the rule. So the fact that it happened once is a testament to the fact that it doesn't happen.
Right.
Like
you gotta
things that
prosecute those
you know.
people that did it.
It's for sure.
Yeah. So what we're talking about, guys, is
It's
something
the
that's
exception that makes the rule.
And I say
Yeah.
make
It
an
just doesn't
example
happen.
out of them so nobody
Bullshit.
like
it's
that
bullshit. It's bullshit. It's a way to scare people, and it's a way. And listen, it's not only a way to scare people and try to control them, but listen, there are those out here who don't agree with cannabis being in the spot that cannabis is in, and so they're going to take any opportunity they have to fucking do this kind of shit. So what we've talked about so far, guys, in recap, is we've talked about retailers who have pushed Halloween down your throat when there's zero correlation to this. And then we flipped completely on the other side to talk about how the media is overhyping a risk or a problem that doesn't even fucking exist. What do you think, T. Greedy? What talking to
I
the
agree
mic?
with you, dog.
I'm gonna get
crazy,
T. Greedy a wireless mic so he don't have to fuck. He's too busy for that fucking
You got
mic,
two of
man.
them, please?
Shit, laid back. T. Greedy chilling.
He's chilling. That's why I'm saying, like, if I give him a wireless mic, he can recline, do whatever. Next time, I'm gonna lock his chair out so he can't recline.
Yeah, right. You're stretching and everything on this.
Stop it. Get some help.
Come on.
You know what? This sounds like a good. Maybe we should do an adult Halloween, right?
An adult Halloween?
What do you call this?
Hand out weed, right?
Yeah.
Edibles,
Okay.
dabs.
So tell me about it.
Well, shit. Next Halloween, we want to have it.
All candy
And
strains.
when everybody come here, we're going to have Halloween here.
To do trick or treat.
Trick or treat.
And then
right
what
here.
we're giving out is not, it's going to be tainted.
It's going, listen.
Adult Halloween.
Okay.
You want some
For
fucking.
adults.
You want to see some risk, some tainted candy.
Look, we're going to break it down.
Now,
I don't
what-
think you thought about the business model of this. Giving out.
Well, there's gonna. What he forgot to tell you though.
Sponsored
Yeah,
by.
yeah, sponsored by somebody. For sure,
There you
sponsored
go.
by somebody. So do you have a quote? Do you have a quote from the people that got arrested? Do you know how? I think they got like 6 or 12 months of probation. What do you got?
Well, their defense was, they're going through some personal issues and things of that nature. But, kind of like a smack on the hand. And they got caught. And but again, it was a rare case. I haven't heard any other case but this one. And I think that was the only case in Canada. So.
Is it legal
Excuse
up
me.
in Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cannabis got legal.
It's
Recreational.
it's very legal there. Is there even a term overly legal?
Yeah, you're not allowed to not smoke up there.
Yeah, I think it's.
There was a time where
Listen, it's has severely eaten into beer sales in Canada.
Good.
It's a problem for some of these beer
Probably
companies.
eating into healthcare costs too. Then,
Yeah,
if
we
that's
did a
the
story
case,
on
right?
Cough Country News about how cannabis in Canada has started to overtake the numbers of alcohol, and I think that's a super interesting thing. But one of the things that Ben and I talked about was, we're going to talk about edibles that aren't in the kids' baskets. We might as well talk about edibles in general and what's kind of going on with edibles, because it's fucking interesting.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, right before the show started, you were offering some edibles to us.
Yeah.
So
you said no, by the way. I think.
I said no because I'll tell you. Want to know why? If you were listening to the last show, was it the last show? Was Paul? No, the show before last. We had Paul in here. We were talking about how food is medicine, but food can be poison.
Oh yeah.
So food can be poison.
That's right.
So the reason I didn't do it is because there's sugar in there, and I think somebody.
It's all sugar. Pretty much. No.
Hey, listen up. Somebody needs to make sugar-free ones of these.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's coming. We need to have it.
It is a weird mix of vital chemical, plant essence, and then like sugar.
So Ben, for those people, and there's plenty of them, diabetic people and whatnot, who can't have the edibles, what do you recommend? Like
Probably RSO, Rick Simpson oil. Yeah.
Okay, or some sort of tincture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the one thing I would say to edibles, which I didn't know until like too late, is that like when you're looking at the, you got to make sure what they're made of, because if it's made of low quality material, it can be like a really high milligram. That doesn't mean as much as a low milligram
right
of edibles that are made with really high quality.
So I'm gonna throw up. Well, actually, go ahead. I'm gonna put my screen up if you can. I have a little website if you guys can take a look. So basically, it says this is numbers ending in 2022, but the cannabis edible market size was valued at $8.01 billion in 22, and it's estimated to observe 16.5 increase from 2023 to 2032. So right now in the United States, we're talking about a $39 billion a year industry, of which, you know, a growing segment is edibles. And I don't think that they're counting beverage in this number, because beverage is kind of its own thing.
Yeah, it's getting bigger now too.
Bigger now.
Especially now that you can put a certain amount of hemp-derived THC, Delta-9 THC.
Yeah,
beverages. You're gonna see it everywhere now.
Well, until the Farm Bill changes potentially, and then that might change how that blend.
Let's just hope for rescheduling, and then the supremacy clause won't apply.
How about a
Everyone-
How about a descheduling?
Yeah.
Would that would be better?
Well, yeah, but that's probably not. We're probably not gonna see that happening.
So
I mean, the descheduling would say, you know, hey, big pharma, you guys don't want this, right? All right, cool. Well, you let everyone else have it. They definitely want it, and they want to see it scheduled so they can. Yeah.
So my
Speaking of that,
talking to the mic, Rabbi. I don't know why I'm the only one that can get my. Why can't you fucking guys talking to the mic? What the fuck? All of you except Ben. Ben's doing a good job.
It's my first time.
Well, then fucking pull the mic in, man. God damn it.
You yelled at me last time, so.
Ben already knows. He's been here before. Ben sounds good. Everybody can hear every word Ben said. This guy's got like a blonde mustache and beard all in his fucking mouth and shit.
Yep.
And
He's been digging tunnels all day, and you're gonna do him like that? Hey. Come on.
Yeah! Here we go!
So I hope you guys know when I play Yeah, Here We Go, that is Dak Prescott before every play, before every offensive play. And I play it for him. I play it for him because I want him to know that it disgusts me that you're a Cowboys fan. Even after all these fucking years, it still annoys the shit out of me.
Well, you know, getting your ass whipped by the Cowboys year after year is tough to take.
Stupid.
That's crazy. Nope. All right, listen. So tell us what you think about, like, what's your gig with edibles? Where are you with edibles now?
Well,
is become a bigger part of what you did? Because before I changed my diet, I was doing some edibles, but like here's the thing, I never really felt that I could dial in my high with just like these candy edibles. If I'm doing like an infused dinner where I'm taking in a significant amount of THC, that's a whole different story. But I'll tell you, I usually don't fuck with edibles. I mean, it's 5-10 milligrams. I got to eat the whole package, and then it's still.
It's a weak substitute for smoking.
Exactly.
If I'm on an airplane, I'm down with edibles. As many as I can.
Perfect for airplanes.
It's perfect for
it.
It's perfect for
it's
airplanes.
Custom made for that.
So, what's edibles to you nowadays?
Well, like you're just saying, for me, it's situational. So, is it time for it, time for not? But it really doesn't, you know, it's not going to give me the high that I need. But situation, hey, chilling on the beach, right, laid back, taking a flight somewhere, early evening, sitting back, want to make sure you go to sleep.
But
So
on the
it has
beach,
its time,
on
so-
the beach, man, you're probably hitting your vape pen, no?
Man, I'm smoking that fatty, hitting the vape pen, doing some gummies.
Why not both, right?
Going to have some beer. You know, shit.
Tanning.
Yeah.
Doing the whole
Because you
damn
know
thing.
black Jewish rabbis they do a lot of tanning, man. They do. That's how they got to keep the nice color.
You know this.
So it's situational for you.
Situational. I think it depends on the person. I know some people that like to do them more than others.
But for like Todd and I have a history, man. We used to do BHs back in the day, like heavily. But
now the world knows. That's okay.
What the fuck? But nowadays you're more edibles, right?
No, I really don't.
You don't do the edibles?
No.
Okay.
And the reason why is I had a close scare not me, but someone in my family.
Well, then slide up on the mic and fucking tell us all about that.
Well, the thing is, there's apparently the homemade ones, and then there's the legitimate ones that are sold at dispensaries. Okay, and I've come into contact with those, but someone in my family picked up one from, I guess it's the homemade version, and you really don't know how many milligrams is in that, and it can be dangerous.
Yeah.
And it was a bad
Panic
situation.
boom!
So stay with the dispensary.
So did someone get sick? Someone get sick?
Oh, yeah.
Or they just got high and they didn't know it?
No, it went ugly.
So it was too strong.
Exactly. Well, that and probably just that, but then all the other things that come.
And it has other effects too. So
in the hospital for a day overnight.
Wow, that's not
just
good.
mostly under observation, but what a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's the only time people go to the hospital for cannabis is after.
But I don't want to be all negative.
What'd
you guys
say?
have a lot of good points.
Hold on a second, Ben.
Before me, you're the experts more than me. You had a lot of good points. If you're going to do it, it all made sense to me before it got to me. But
well, here's the deal, man. At the end of the day, I agree with Ben. The number one use for, unless you're going to have a nice infused dinner, because if you're going to have a nice infused dinner, Ben, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
But if you're just going to eat some candy, first of all, get the strongest ones you can get.
Rosin.
They're great for and they're listen, my buddy makes the RSO, these like gelatin square RSOs.
RSO is strong.
They're good. Yeah, that'll
put you out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Edibles for me, a lot of these candy edibles, I usually find myself getting super tired, and so
it's got a very long half-life.
Yeah, so what the fuck's in them? Why I get so tired? Because is it sugar crash or is it just like
no? It's like
or they're pumping a bunch of indica in these.
It's a totally different thing. So. Like one thing that's I found a lot of people still have confusion around is that there's no such thing as an indica or sativa edible.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is in the terpenes and that volatilizes first. That's gone right away. So like there's a lot of complexity in the cannabis smoke. Smoking the plant. You have all of the cannabinoids, and you have thousands of alkaloids that do different things, psychoactive alkaloids. And then you have the terpenes, and then you have the entourage effect, where it all mixes together and balances out. And then with edibles, your liver and stomach process it into one thing called 11-hydroxy THC metabolite, and so that's one thing. So
you studied that before, T. Greedy, did you not?
Yeah. So it's a simple.
I'm in class right now.
It's a simple thing that, just like alcohol is one thing. It's ethyl alcohol. You can mix it up a lot of different ways, but not much has the complexity of THC, cannabis flower. But when you eat it, it loses all that complexity.
Mm.
So really, all you have to worry about is the dose that it's going to turn into, your metabolite that's actually going to make it to your brain.
Right on.
Very simplified.
So it's no terps in the
no,
edibles.
there's no terps in the edibles.
I know when I look for terps when I get the weed though from the dispensary.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like they're matching up. Like,
tell me the later.
There's certain terps that go with certain strains, no? Or can you just mix match these terps ever how you want?
Well, I mean, spraying it with artificial terps is unfortunately something that's done. But that's when people talk about pheno hunting, and a phenotype is an expression of a genotype. So if a certain plant expresses a certain flavor and that's what they're looking for, that's what they'll grow. So people grow things for those qualities, those flavors. So
right on.
Yeah.
So T. Greedy, what about you and edibles? You
I'm not big on edibles, but I will do them on like special occasions and stuff like that. But my rule with edibles is I gotta be inside the house. Because I seen people act a fool off them joints, yo.
Acting a fool.
Straight up, real rap.
Right on.
For real.
So for you, it's a special occasion thing. Does it
Yeah,
make you
that's
fucking
it.
tired, or are you good with it?
I don't know. I'm pretty much like fucked up already. So you know what I'm saying. I don't, you know.
That's a good point. Like, you're already high. You take some gummy. You don't know what it did to you.
And I'm in the house or in the hotel room, so I know ain't nothing bad gonna happen to me.
Yep.
Yeah, but no doubt the worst part of edibles is the next day.
Yeah.
If you eat too much, that's the problem.
Well, I think if you eat too much of what? Because like I've eaten like super high amounts of THC in infused meals,
Right.
and I felt pretty fucking good the next day. So what do you think it's just like a lower quality, like, I mean, when they're cooking,
It's
they're usually cooking with, like, at least nowadays, it's either infused butter, but a lot more not. It's
You're
distillates.
probably very sensitive to that stuff because you've been very disciplined with how you eat.
Yeah,
But
I'm
for
talking
me,
about before
I'm not
that.
going to notice if it's a chocolate or a gummy. I'm going to notice if I ate 600 milligrams, though, the next day I'm going to be very tired.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like an infused meal might be, even more than 600. I mean,
It definitely can be.
shout out to Chef Fred, man. He's the man.
Yeah, infused meals are good. I think because it's a good body high. It feels different. You like, infused meals are the thing. If you can afford it. I only had one, but I know you probably get them every week, Phil.
I don't get them every week. No, I've had a few, but I think they're great, man. Like I think I mean the way you feel off of those. I mean the cocktails that they'll make at these things are all cannabis cocktails. They infuse the vegetables. They infuse proteins. I think it's great, and then the dessert, of course, is infused too. So like I think it's great. The way you feel afterwards is great. It just is. It's a super great body. It's different. I don't feel super tired either. Like it's not like when you eat like a whole bunch of candy or you drink one of the Hundies or something like that. Those Hundy drinks they barely do nothing for me. I got to drink 2 of them.
Yeah, I don't do drinks.
You don't? Well, if you're traveling,
I mean, I do infused drink, like for the dinners and stuff like that. I haven't drinking any the products.
But back to Ben's point, man, when you're traveling, that's the shit. If you're not driving, of course, right, T. Greedy? If you're not driving. But if you're not driving,
smoke and fly.
Smoke and fly, absolutely. Don't drink and drive, smoke and fly. Fuck yeah. Hey, Ben, that's
I didn't come up with that.
Okay. I was gonna say, man, it's not bad. It's not bad. So, all right. So, what? Anything on edibles that you want to talk about?
I think we just said it all. Pretty much on edibles. I think it's a taste thing. Depends on the person and what the occasion is.
All right.
I think one last thing is one thing I've noticed is that the 2 kinds of edibles I normally consume are gummies and chocolates. And gummies is kind of like a clearer thing, and I think that's because THC is fat soluble. So if you eat an edible that has a lot of fat in it, like a chocolate,
right,
it's going to have a stonier feel
because the fat's in.
Because of the fat.
You're right. Rather than just the high fructose corn syrup.
Right. Yeah, I think there's going to be like more bioavailability or something. Whatever, you're getting more out of it.
So the rules that apply to food, they make sense here in the case of how you digest your cannabis, your weed, right?
Yeah.
So T Greedy, make sure you extra fat in your protein, brother.
Next time I do the turkey, deep fried turkey, I got you.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What do you fry it in?
Peanut oil.
That's right. We got to switch that.
Sounds fire, actually.
You should fry it in beef tallow.
Hey, T Greedy.
Five Guys, their fries and the peanut oil, that's just excellent. So.
Well, McDonald's for years and years and years did their fries in beef tallow.
Okay.
Until the government shoved down their throat that was a bad way to do it, and the better way to do it was like to somehow put the fucking seed oil in.
Yeah.
And now it turns out that what they were doing the first time was
using industrial lubricant was a bad idea.
Yeah, can you imagine that?
No way. I thought food as food would be good, but no.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a slap in the face, and it's it's nonsense, is what it is. So all right. So that's our take on edibles. We got another story that we're going to talk about, because I didn't know a lot about it. I don't know if everybody knows about it, but we're going to talk about it a little bit, and we'll see what you guys think. It makes all the sense. Oh yeah, you know what? We got to run a commercial. I forgot to take commercial. You know what? So yeah, let's run commercial if you could, control room. I appreciate it. Thank you for reminding me.
You feel that edibles? Speaking of edibles?
Huh?
Oh.
So many dispensaries have resorted to a bland, impersonal shopping experience, where you often don't even get to see a sample of the cannabis you're planning on purchasing before you buy it. If you're looking for that extra personal touch, come check out High Roller Dispensary in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Our staff are avid cannabis connoisseurs who are sure to help you find the strains that fit you best. Whether you're looking for premium flower, edibles, concentrates, or tinctures, we have you covered with over 100 different strains to choose from, all of which are able to be seen, smelled, and thoroughly examined in our elegant showroom. If you're in a rush, we offer a seamless online ordering system that allows for in-depth exploration of all that we have to offer. So whether you're a novice or a seasoned stoner, be sure to stop by High Roller Dispensary and we'll make sure you're floating on cloud 9 by the time you leave.
I'm Rob Cantrell, and you're watching Cough Country TV. Right here, right now. This is it. You're watching it. Cough Country. You're in this country, cough it up. Cough it up for Cough Country TV. Right here, right now, on the internet and beyond. Media, television, pizza, weed, legalized.
Right around here, 15 inches, maybe if you're younger, you go up to 19 inches, Yeah, you already went the bigger.
Sometimes a CIO might make commitments to a CEO that they just can't fulfill. And it's very hard to succeed in those environments. You really want to be able to set the expectation right up front.
How would you feel with no sex, no weed for a month or two? I'm going to be really angry.
I just feel sorry for Jake.
Yeah, Jake's going to get fucked up.
Wow, this is
Phil. Yeah, for
This is all you. This is the Cough Country OG pink hoodie.
No, our motto is, when they go low, we get high.
And we are back. What's going on? Thank you guys for letting us run the commercials. So, hey Todd, so we got this thing. We're going to talk about Croptober because we're at the end of October. And we didn't know a ton about Croptober, and there's a lot of significance to it. There's cultural things. There's, it's the harvest season. I'm gonna let you talk about it. But when we're done this, do we want to do a sesh with the new piece of glass?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. So what we'll do is when we're done this story, we'll kill the YouTube feeds. And then we'll go to Rumble only, and we'll stay on Rumble, and we'll do a sesh with the, Luca was here, and he brought us one of his, was it South Beach, Miami line? Mm-hmm. So I think we'll crank that out tonight. Maybe we'll rip a few a few bong hits on it.
It sounds groovy.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so let's talk about Croptober real quick. And the history of it. If you want to put my screen up for a second, you can. Todd's got some stuff that he wants to point out. But yeah, I mean, you know, at the very core of it, what Croptober is the harvest of the outdoor season. That's kind of at the basic core of it. But it goes well beyond that. So I'll let you chat on it.
Yeah, well, it's it's kind of a new thing for me. It's kind of like Juneteenth. You know, like everybody's hip to it now. It's been around for a while, and now people are hip to it. So I'm happy to hear about it and see what it's all about. But basically, Croptober is a celebration of the year's hard work and dedication to the cultivating. And, so they celebrated the harvesting and the fruits of their labor. So that's how it started.
Right.
The people in the industry, the growers, and so long year, right? So they celebrate there, and the timing of it is the thing.
Yeah, put my screen. If you guys put my screen up, guys, because this talks about why Croptober is October, because we talk about things like ideal climate, right?
Right. So, and that's what it's all about. So October is the end of of the harvest time, and so the beneficial factors are the ideal climate, as you spoke to. The flowering stage is before frost, and a long photo period. And I know Ben probably can speak to that part of outdoor growing in October and what it's all about.
Yeah. So in this, mostly out west, but also on the East Coast.
Right.
This would be, the most significant month for taking down outdoor plants.
As it is with other vegetables and things, other plants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so,
as far as human celebrations, probably planting crops and taking them down are probably the two most significant, times throughout the year, throughout history for sure.
Mm-hmm.
As far as agriculturists went, I guess, which probably goes back about 10,000 years.
Yeah, because it's interesting that you bring up, tens of thousands of years, because it talks about the ancient origins. And this is guys, this is a shout out to EncoreLabs.com for this article here for the history of Croptober, but it talks about the ancient origins. And what it says is the cultivation of cannabis has been around for centuries. We all know that. Indigenous cultures, including the Native American and certain South American tribes, allegedly use cannabis for medicinal, spiritual, and ritualistic
purposes. That's where the
purposes.
sativa lineages come from, right?
Yeah.
So, all the sativas that we hear about.
The land races.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The natural land race sativas. That's their lineage, was South American.
Right.
And so, when you're talking about Croptober, obviously, we're not talking about Australia. They've got toilets that flush the other way,
Yeah, water spins.
I don't even know what month for them would be. Maybe all year round they can harvest. I don't even know. But
I think there's cold parts in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But for us, it's October.
So and then prohibition and resurgence. They talk about the early of 20th century saw a wave of prohibition that banned the cultivation, sale, and use of cannabis, and including other parts of the world, including the United States. But during the latter half of the century, cannabis experienced a resurgence in popularity. So as things get knocked down, and then they come back, they are typically celebrated, right, in a way that would be maybe above and beyond the way you'd celebrate it if it wasn't taken away from you first. And so these things that, perhaps prohibition did play a role into it.
Definitely.
Cyclically.
Yeah.
In terms of how it kind of came and went, and then this became what they call here the Croptober of today, which is the modernization celebration of Croptober has its roots in the cannabis industry, particularly U.S. and Canada. Laws and regulations surrounding cannabis involved growers, enthusiasts began to embrace Croptober at this time to reflect on the year's harvest, share knowledge, and appreciate the plant's cultural significance. So, you know, again, like a lot of fall festivals in areas like we live in and like other people live in where it gets, you know, starts to get chilly and where your growing season literally comes to an end before the first frost, right? And so we live in one of those zones, and, you know, like any other harvest festival that you would see, this is that. That's what it is. And so while it wasn't a term that I heard a lot, I mean, I might have heard it before, but
I think if you were in northern, you know, in like the Emerald Triangle of California or like in Oregon, you know, it would be on T-shirts, you know.
It's just more of a thing.
Maybe we must travel.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be nice to, you know, put this on the holiday calendar.
Yeah.
Croptober.
Right.
And so it's.
So you've got two ideas. One is to give out fucking weed candy for Halloween to adults, right?
Yes.
And then now this one?
Yes, let's celebrate October with Croptober and Halloween candy for adults. Let's do it.
All right. Well, you sold. Listen, brother. Listen, you sold me on the whole the weed candy to adults thing. I think we can get a sponsor for that and have a good time with that next year for sure. I don't know about what your plans are for Croptober. You might. I don't know what you're thinking.
Shit, I might
fly out. Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's when you
get a T-shirt. Shit, like
I think you're gonna bring back. Yeah, I think you want to bring back more than a T-shirt, huh?
Well, you know.
That's why I'm laughing, because he make it seem like he just gonna fly to Oregon and get a T-shirt.
Right. So, hey, so control room, pop my screen up again, because one of the other significant aspects that Croptober comes with is, like, what's the effect of Croptober on cannabis operators, right? That's kind of an interesting angle.
Well, it's the classic supply and demand curve.
Exactly. And so the point of me bringing this up is to just show everybody that this is no different than any other, you know, commodity crop.
Yeah.
Thing, so to speak. But just, you know, just real quickly, what it talks about in here is it's a time where you know cultivators they say that, you know, this is a time where you should be making your extra money, and this brings, like here says, if you run a cannabis business, these changes can bring golden opportunities to attract new customers, boost your sales. So
think back in your past. Do you have friends in Oregon? You know,
I know a few people over
you
there,
know,
yeah.
I'm talking to our viewers. You know.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you guys put in the comments if you knew a lot more about Croptober and it's more popular in your area, tell us about it, and we'll, you know, on the next show we'll read some of the stories. But yeah, so it's kind of an interesting thing. It's relevant to the fact that we're doing a Halloween show and talking about it a little bit. I don't think T Greedy gives a motherfucking rat's ass about Croptober, if you ask me, in my opinion.
I used to back in the day.
Oh yeah? You little outdoor grow back in the day?
I didn't myself, but you know, you just knew around October.
Don't worry, the statute of limitations is over.
Nah, you knew, you know.
It's the exact opposite of the middle of the summer when you're, you know, trying to remember if you stashed something somewhere. Like, you know.
Or you have to remember where your friends showed you where it was, and it didn't look like that when you were there earlier. Well, listen, you ran through some fucking cornfields yourself, I think, if I can remember correctly. But yeah, no shit. So, so control room, tell me if you're okay with shutting the YouTube streams down. But before we do that, I want to let's make a quick announcement. We're going to be here Tuesday night for the election. I don't know, man. We're working on seeing who we're going to have in to come, you know, share the thoughts. But if it's just me and you,
that'd be good in itself.
Yeah, it's going to be entertaining because you know, you and I are in different positions on different things. We both love weed, I can tell you that.
Well, you know this.
That's why we're here. That's how our friendship survived all these years.
Late night green.
Yeah, because we weren't sitting around talking politics, I can tell you that.
For sure.
So you guys, make sure that you tune in Tuesday night. We'll be on Cough Country TV YouTube channel. We'll be on Late Night Green Rumble. We'll be on YouTube Rumble. And we're working on getting this broadcast set up for X so we can be on X at the same time. Ben, if somebody wants to visit your creative environment, how would they do so?
I think Instagram, unfortunately, is the best way right now.
So tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, it's Goldman Glass on Instagram.
And
I'm trying to get a better, Instagram or internet presence.
Right.
I haven't done that yet.
Right, got you. And when they go there, they're going to be able to see a lot of the stuff that you've worked on over the years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they should just do what? Reach out, instant message you if they're interested in something they see or something they want?
Yeah, either of those, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it just dawned on me that I found an old piece of mine that I loved.
Okay.
Like loved, but the corners cracked out of it, and I don't know if we can fix it or if we can just like recommission this piece.
Yeah.
But at some point I want to show you this shit.
Yeah.
This piece was good. I loved it.
No, I understand sentimental value and
I divest. Digress, I should say. Fucking, I can't even speak properly. Hey, control room. So, are you good with shutting the YouTubes, the 2 YouTube feeds, and leaving Rumble up? All right. Sorry. All right. So, guys, come over to Rumble, and we're going to do a sesh. If you guys want to hang out with us, we're going to pull out the. Matter of fact, the Black Rabbi is going to go get the piece and get it. He's going to get it set up for us, and then we're going to rip some bong hits.
First, I'll bless it.
So shout out to Luca Illadelph, and we promised him we're going to use this.
Luca in the house. Thanks a lot, man. We're going to try it out.
All right, so we're on Rumble. All right, we're on Rumble. Why don't you get the piece, put some water, or bring it over, and we'll unbox it here, and then we'll throw a glass of water into it. Yeah, we can take this shit off. We can leave that on. Leave that on. We can take our we can take our shit off. Give me a
Sacrilege.